Who we
Should
doing?
Thomas Brown be the head coach next year for the Bears after today?
So this is our official coaching segment of the year, like an eval.
Yeah, I want to get it done before my hotspot says no.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well kill this one off, right? Right. What do you think, Steve? You tell me.
No. Now, I feel bad saying that because I'm a hypocrite. I said he needs time. This is his audition. This is his time. And there's still 4 games left, right? Like this is the time. The way they came out and performed, because we just said it, what was one of the positives that the players have said and outside people have said about Thomas Brown? He brings this energy. He brings this, we're going to play physical. We're going to do this. And that's what they wanted to see. If we would have lost 38 to like 35 and we were playing physical, playing tough, they just made a big play here and there, just did something great, I might be singing something else. I might be like, you know what? This was a tough loss. It sucks that they lost. But did we see positive growth from what was going on? Awesome. Not X's and O's, not this, not that. It was just nobody seemed ready to play. Nobody. And we can make the excuse of, I just said it earlier, everything's thrown at him now. Everything's on your plate. I'm sorry. It's the NFL. Like, it's just, you're going to have to, people have done it. Interim head coaches have come in and done well. They've been able to handle it. So you've got to be able to handle it. If it's a lot of work, you delegate it to other coaches. You have a conversation with Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, say, this is a lot on my plate. How can we get this done? Blah, 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 blah. Can you guys help me out? That's what they're there for. You have guys around you that you go have those conversations with. But the fact that it took till the third quarter to get them to play is an issue. And again, maybe he's better, and especially if he wasn't calling plays. I question that decision if it's true that he was not calling plays. Like, he himself could be a little cocky and say, you know what? We were doing okay-ish here calling plays. Like, we saw some development things. I'm just going to keep calling plays. Like, you have to make that decision and stick with it. I'm leaning, I shouldn't say it's a definite no, but I'm leaning towards no because you've been around. Like, I know we're blaming Matt Eberflus, but you were around this whole season as this thing was happening.
Right.
So maybe he's just better suited as an OC for the time being, which there's nothing wrong with that. Being an OC, nothing wrong with that. We saw what he could do. And imagine if he had a whole off season. Imagine if he had like everything coming into the beginning of the year, it might be better. Maybe that's what he is. And just working with the quarterback. Maybe that's what he is. Like, hey, I can connect with Caleb Williams. This is my job. That's why we talked about Vrabel maybe hiring him as an OC, saying, you have a great relationship with Caleb. I want that to grow. I want you to be my OC. Let's get this done. And I'll be there to help you, you know. But as of right now, today, I'm saying no, because just like we did a couple years ago and we tore down the roster, we may have to tear down the entire coaching staff and rebuild that up now. Like, okay, we've done it with the players, minus the D-line and O-line. Now we're going to have to tear this down. So as of today, I'm leaning towards no. The only way you can maybe think about it is if he goes on a 3 or 4 game win streak here. If that happens, you're having a different conversation. But right now, I'm leaning towards no.
I think that's going to be key. Is there wasn't going to be much, I think, movement or leverage left if you started out on a lame duck effort like this. And I don't think it bodes well for him being the head coach. If we're going to evaluate Thomas Brown as a legitimate candidate, you know, this was his tryout. You know, he gets to take a crack at, you know, leading a group of men, getting them ready to play. And I know we can talk. Yes, you have to rotate around who is coordinator. You have to rotate around potentially who is the play caller. Because again, I'm looking right now trying to see if anyone's saying anything about the press conference. If this was asked, there's nothing yet. So gonna have to figure that one out as the week goes on, who actually is calling plays. But you know, sure, you have these rotations in and differences in who's handling what responsibility. But I have to also mention, you know, unlike when he took over as offensive coordinator, he had an extended week to get ready. This was after Thanksgiving. You know, Matt Eberflus is fired on Friday. That immediately says, okay, you're up, Thomas Brown. We elect you as the interim head coach. You have over a week to prepare for your next opponent in San Francisco with the coordinators that are going to be on roster. You're not having to hire anybody. So you're able to game plan. You have an additional 2 days ish change right there. Actually, really 3 if you want to count Friday as a whole day. But I'll do 2 days and change extra because you're off Sunday and Saturday. And you can argue, yeah, I got to go home. But like, hey, this is your job, man. You are in the thick of it if you want this that bad. And didn't show up. I think with an extended week, I think that also just hurts because that's to many great coaches do an even better job at preparing with extended weeks or bye weeks. We've seen Andy Reid gets praised for how he coaches out of a bye week or out of extended weeks. That's like one of his bread and butter traits that people lean on as to why he's an excellent head coach. And I didn't see it, quite frankly. I did not see it there. And again, with the lame duck performance today, everybody coming out flat, had to wait till the third quarter to even get any sort of movement going or any sort of at least energy in the room going. He's not my guy. I think that settled it this year. If you want to talk about him as an offensive coordinator, I don't think that's a bad idea to discuss if he's not the one calling plays, by the way, mind you. And we're talking about it differently, then sure, maybe we can keep that on the table a little bit. But I am in the full camp. I'm in the camp now where, like you, Steve, you said it perfectly. Unless they come out and they just completely eradicate the last 4 opponents and they look like someone that is completely different, and we can somewhat try and make an excuse to wipe away San Francisco because it was his first week coaching, then maybe, just maybe, we talk about getting an interview. But it ain't it. He right now, he is not on he's barely on my interview list. Personally, if I was Kevin Warren, I'd be like, okay, we're not going to interview Thomas. We'll say thank you for the effort and we move on and we start looking at actual candidates, or at least more ready candidates that we think can take over. But no, he's not it. I think he's going to get opportunities elsewhere. Personally, I'd love him to go somewhere and be the offensive coordinator right away. If he's not here again, to give him another shot. If not in Chicago, take him somewhere else and let him go and get another shot at doing that. Because I mean, he did energize the offense. It's just I'm wondering if that's what he's good at. Like we're talking with Matt, he's a good coordinator. He just not the coaching skills are not there yet. Though is maybe the thing.